Do you believe that this beautiful cleaner in a short skirt and black stockings is actually a genius with an IQ of 160? She not only has a super memory, but also has amazing reasoning ability. Tonight, she was happily listening to music and immersed in the joy of cleaning, but she accidentally dropped the police station's file box. A photo of a murder case appeared in front of Megan. The rich man Anton was killed at home, but his wife Liana disappeared strangely. After a preliminary investigation, the police determined that it was Liana who killed her husband and absconded, so she was listed as the first suspect. However, as a reasoning genius with an IQ of 160, after looking at a few photos, Megan directly picked up a pen and crossed out the suspect label under Liana and changed it to victim. Unexpectedly, this move completely exposed her reasoning ability. The next morning, female police chief Judy received the autopsy report from the forensic doctor, confirming that Anton's death time was between 3 and 5 p.m. A shotgun was also found at the scene as the murder weapon. The main suspect Liana has now fled, and their daughter Amy is studying in another city. After learning that her parents were in trouble, Amy was rushing to the police station. The only clue at present is the whereabouts of Liana. Detective Daniel believes that Liana's sister Sophia may have the key clue. Unexpectedly, as soon as he finished speaking, Daniel found that the file board had been changed, which made him furious and pointed at the board to ask who did it. At this time, Megan had not felt Daniel's anger and was shopping in the supermarket with her 3 children. As a single mother, it is not easy for 3 children to grow up healthily, so she could not meet all her daughter's beauty requirements. Although her daughter secretly hid the lipstick in the shopping cart, Megan, who was extremely sensitive to numbers, immediately found that the bill amount was wrong and decisively returned the lipstick to the cashier. Of course, in retaliation, Megan took the supermarket shopping cart away. Looking at the eyes of the audience, the daughter really wanted to find a crack in the ground to drill down. Just when Megan's family returned with a full load, Daniel knocked on her door. It turned out that through the surveillance of the police station, they had locked the trickster cleaner. Megan was slightly embarrassed. She didn't want to do this either. She was just distracted by the music. Judy stared at Megan and said, "Tampering with judicial cases is a felony. Do you think I will believe your words?" Megan looked innocent and said that she didn't want to help the idiots in the police station, but she had obsessive-compulsive disorder. If she didn't correct the mistakes, she would not sleep all night. After hearing this, Judy directly slapped the file in front of Megan. "Come on, start your performance." In order to avoid being misunderstood by the police, Megan began to explain patiently. Judging from the layout of the room, Liana didn't look like someone who could kill. The pillows in the room were placed neatly and evenly, and the arrangement of the decorations was almost perfect. Obviously, the owner was a person with mysophobia. Based on this observation, Megan pointed out that the only untidy place in the room was the curtains, which was obviously inconsistent with the character of mysophobia. Megan further speculated that the curtains were likely used for some purpose, and the hair stuck on the chair legs in the photo indicated that someone might have been tied to the chair with curtain ropes and tape. Since no marks of binding were found on the body of the deceased, Megan believed that there must be another mysterious person at the scene. This means that someone tied Liana to a chair at the time, while Anton was in another position. The mastermind behind all this is the real murderer. Just as she explained this inference, the police brought new information. Surveillance showed that a strange woman had entered the house at the time of the incident. The subsequent investigation found that the woman was a person who had a legal dispute with Liana a few months ago. She lost a case and had a great resentment towards Liana. It is reported that she has sent threatening messages to Liana many times since then and expressed extreme dissatisfaction. After questioning her, it was found that she mentioned some unbearable experiences, including being harassed by someone and trying to accuse him, but failed to get fair treatment due to insufficient evidence. She believed that Liana's defense made her situation worse, so she held a grudge against Liana. Daniel asked, "So you went to Anton's house yesterday and killed him because you were so angry?" Ms. Jung looked at the photo in her hand with surprise and replied, "I worked from home all day yesterday and didn't go to Anton's house at all." However, faced with the evidence of the surveillance video, Ms. Jung lied calmly. She was really brave. At this moment, Megan's detention time was up. He accidentally glanced at the video surveillance and instantly found the problem. The time of this video is wrong, Megan frowned. It wasn't taken recently. Daniel asked doubtfully. Why are you so sure? Megan glanced at him disdainfully and explained, the direction of the leaves swaying gives everything away. The wind in late autumn should blow from the north, and the wind direction in the video is completely wrong. Daniel was still unconvinced. Even so, how do you know which direction the wind must blow? Megan pointed to the church in the distance. Look at the direction of the church. The church usually faces east. This is not a random direction, but a tradition from ancient times. It has both symbolic significance and is convenient for the light at sunrise to reflect, making the building look more sacred, she added confidently. It was the north wind yesterday. This video was obviously taken a few months ago, and someone tampered with it. Judy was surprised after hearing this. This was the first time he had seen such a smart woman. He hurriedly chased after her, wanting to stop Megan and ask her again. Although Megan has solved countless cases over the years, his reasoning ability and keen observation are still amazing. Does he have superpowers? Megan sighed helplessly and said frankly, I don't have superpowers, just high potential intelligence. He said that he has super cognitive ability, creativity, and photographic memory. But these talents also bring pain. He often gets entangled in details, which makes his thoughts unable to stop. This trait makes it difficult for him to work normally, maintain relationships, and even have smooth conversations. Sometimes, I would rather not have these abilities, Megan said with a wry smile. As soon as he finished speaking, he walked out of the police station and saw an acquaintance, but he got angry because of a small matter. In less than 3 minutes, he and his friends were taken back to the police station. At the same time, Daniel on the other side picked up Amy at the airport. Looking at this sad girl, he knew very well that she didn't look like a liar. The police could not determine the whereabouts of Liana for the time being, and they needed Amy's assistance. Amy held back her sadness and said, My mother has not been doing well recently. A few weeks ago, one of her colleagues committed suicide and wrote a letter to her mother. What did the letter say? The police asked. Amy shook her head. I don't know. After Judy learned of this information, she immediately contacted a lawyer and tried to apply for a search of Liana's office. However, the lawyer refused unceremoniously. Liana is a criminal defense lawyer and has many sensitive clues. If there is no sufficient evidence, it is impossible to search her office. Judy, who was blocked back, thought of Megan. This case has been advanced by Megan's reasoning from the beginning. Maybe he can find clues that the police have not noticed. At this time, Megan had just been released and ran into Amy when she walked out of the police station. Seeing this sad girl, Megan couldn't help but think of her daughter. He took the initiative to comfort Amy after a few words. Amy's mood improved a lot. She also took out the photo her mother sent her a few days ago. In the photo, Liana was tending the garden, holding freshly picked flowers in her hands. Megan had just sent Amy away when she looked up and saw Judy. Judy got straight to the point and listed 3 charges: tampering with evidence, assaulting police officers, and fighting. Even if it is reduced to a misdemeanor, you will face 6 months in prison, plus a fine of several $1,000s. Megan sneered. Officer Jew, if you want me to help, just say it directly. Don't make these useless threats. Judy had no choice but to put down her attitude and ask Megan to help investigate. Megan nodded and agreed, and pointed out to issues that needed to be solved first. Find the letter that Sarah wrote to Liana. Find Liana's sister Sophia and learn more about her. Under the arrangement of the police, Amy soon met with her Aunt Sophia. After meeting, the two hugged each other and comforted each other. Daniel took the opportunity to ask a question. Sophia, do you know who is the Sarah who wrote to my sister? Sophia was stunned for a moment, shook her head and said, I have never heard her mention this name. But, by the way, can you please take care of him? She pointed to Megan, who was fiddling with the items on the table. Megan noticed the other party's dissatisfaction and quickly put away her restless hands. Okay, my fault. But he still added, but, by the way, 1 out of every 3 people is named Sarah. If this person wrote a letter and committed suicide, my sister should have mentioned it when chatting with you. Megan caused Daniel a headache because of a series of uncontrolled behaviors. He simply asked Megan to stay in the car, and went to talk to the head of the law firm to ask for approval to search Liana's office. However, the head of the law firm was tough. No search warrant, no tool. The negotiations were fruitless, and Daniel had no choice but to hide in the bathroom to adjust his mood. Unexpectedly, Megan came out of the cubicle. Daniel was shocked. "Why are you here?" Megan raised her eyebrows. "You have mysophobia, and you have to wash your hands every time. I guess you will come to the bathroom after the conversation, so I waited for you here early." Just as Daniel was negotiating with the head of the law firm, Megan pretended to be a hot cleaner, successfully attracted countless eyes in the law firm, and took the opportunity to sneak into Liana's office. With his keen observation, he cracked the password of the safe and got the key letter. The letter was written by an assistant lawyer named Sarah. The letter described in detail Abu's indecent behavior towards her, which was exactly the same as Ms. Zhang's description. This Abu was indeed a habitual offender, and he even did not let go of his own defense lawyer. Megan speculated that Dai's wife might have a change of heart and planned to expose Abu, but he got the upper hand. Megan handed the letter to Daniel and confidently concluded, "The case is simple. Just arrest Abu and close the case." However, Daniel was furious. This letter was obtained illegally, and the court will not accept it at all. As a policeman, he always adheres to the bottom line of the law and must not act like Megan. "Do you know what people like you remind me of? There are 3 supermarket shopping carts hidden in the house." Daniel suppressed his anger and asked Megan to put the letter back in the same way. "If you are found, I will arrest you personally." Despite this, Daniel still invited Abu to the police station for questioning. Abu showed an alibi. On the day of the incident, he was in Fontana, California. "What?" Megan stared at Abu in disbelief. "A rich man wearing Italian handmade shoes and $1 million watch. Go to Fontana." He listed two possibilities: going to the water park to get hepatitis, attending a cousin's bachelor party, and lending them money. When Megan was about to ask Abu about the real reason for going to Fontana, Abu's lawyer arrived and forcibly terminated the interrogation. At the same time, the law firm also complained to the police. A cleaner wearing revealing clothes entered the office of Liana twice without permission and asked the police to give an explanation. In the evening, Daniel got off work angrily. Megan chased him out and reminded him, "You must find out why Abu went to Fontana." Daniel finally couldn't bear it anymore and roared, "I've had enough of your ridiculous experiments." "Megan, you can't do it at all. Go home to take care of the children. It's better to leave it to professionals to solve the case." Megan was stunned and didn't speak for a long time. After thinking for a moment, he chose to go home to cook for the children and be an ordinary single mother. However, the next morning, Daniel took the initiative to apologize. Megan looked indifferent and stuffed her youngest son directly into Daniel's arms. "Since you are so free, then help take care of the child." While Daniel was taking care of the child entrusted by Megan, Megan continued to explain his discovery. At Sophia's house, Megan noticed that the decorations on the bookshelf were all covered with dust, but there was only one item marked with the words "West Coast Town" that was clean as new, indicating that Sophia had been there recently, and it was very likely that she was with Abu. Daniel questioned, "Even if they went to that town, what does it mean? They all had an alibi at the time of the crime." Instead of directly refuting, Megan invited his neighbor Henry, a retired worker who was keen on plant cultivation. Megan obtained key clues from Henry, and with the bouquet of flowers he saw in Amy's hand before, he gradually pieced together a complete reasoning. While driving the children to school, Megan analyzed. Abu knew he was involved and wanted to get something that would benefit him through Liana. He teamed up with Sophia and planned to use her feelings for her sister to achieve his goal. At this point, he turned on the siren, and the children instantly became campus stars. Back to the topic, Megan speculated that on the day of the incident, Abu and Sophia went to Liana's house to threaten her. However, Liana's husband was unexpectedly present, and the two sides had a dispute, which resulted in the husband's death. After that, they adjusted the temperature in the house, used freezing to delay the decay of the body, and then forged the time of death to confuse the police's judgment. The withering of the flowers revealed this hidden operation. Megan speculated through this bouquet of flowers that Liana was taken to a small town by them, and that place was related to the old house where they lived since childhood. Megan and Daniel quickly rushed to the location and found Liana dying in an abandoned basement. Her rescue not only revealed the truth, but also provided strong evidence to prove the crimes of Abu and Sophia. The case was settled, and Megan's reasoning ability won high praise from the police. The sheriff invited Megan. "Become our consultant. We need your analytical ability." At first, Megan shook her head. "I'm just an ordinary single parent." However, after seeing the scene of the reunion of Liana and her daughter, she changed her mind. "Okay, but there are conditions. Increase your salary by half, help me take care of my children, and help me find out the whereabouts of my family who have been missing for many years." The sheriff readily agreed, and Megan officially became a consultant for the police. Next, she will use her wisdom to help solve more difficult cases. High Potential 2024 is a crime drama about Megan, a single mother with a sharp mind. She works as a cleaner for the police, using her intellect to rearrange crime scene evidence and help solve cases. This drama has a total of 10 episodes. Please follow my channel. See you on next episode.